The bulk import and export functions in the photo booth operator are extremely simple to use, but also extremely powerful. They're primarily used in three areas: clients, venues, and date availability checks. They all work fundamentally the exact same way, so we're going to go ahead and show you how to import a list of your clients into the photo booth operator, and this same method will be utilized if you import your venues or your date availability checks. To start out with, we'll go ahead and click on Components and Clients, and as you see, it shows that we have no clients currently loaded. Then we have the options to either import a client list or export a client list. As you can see from the instructions, we can either accept Microsoft Excel or CSV files for your list of clients. So we're going to go ahead and select our file, our client file, and we're going to upload the file. So the first thing the photo booth operator is going to do is load the file into memory, parse it, and determine the rows and columns and display that information to you. So let's see what that looks like. So the photo booth operator has shown you a sample of what the data looks like. Depending upon your list structure, it may look different than this, and it may include headers on the columns. So instead of saying A/Alice, B/Ford, it may say A/name, B/address, C/email, D/whatever. So what you're going to do now is tell the photo booth operator which column, A, B, C, D, E, F, etc., matches which kind of information. Okay, so we don't have headers to tell us, but it is pretty clear what the columns are. So for instance, Allison, Amy, Andrea, these are all first names. So column A, right here, we go down to the drop down and we say that's their first name. Ford, Whipperman, Bell, that's obviously a last name. Now many times you will not have the names split. You will just have name. And as you can see from the options, you do have a full name selection ability. If you do a full name, the photo booth operator does store names in a first and last name basis. So what it will do is it will split the name at the first space it encounters. So if it's first name space last name, which is tradition, that's where it'll split. If you have the full name in your list and you import it, you're going to want to go back and check those names. Some people have 3 names. Some people, have just an abbreviation for their first name. You want to double check to make sure that data is accurate. In this case, though, it's broken up for us. So now we're just going to continue down all the columns and match up the data type with what we actually think it is. So we've got address, city, state, zip. G is obviously an email. H is a phone. We can't really tell because there doesn't seem to be any data in there. You'll see this very often. You may have to go back and look in your Excel file to see kind of what that column is. I happen to know, based on looking at the Excel file, that this is an alternate phone number or a cell phone number. They just haven't collected it for the small sample of data that we have, but if I were to look further down on the list, I would be able to see that. So now, once I have assigned all the columns, and in this particular case, all the columns had information. Let's say, for instance, this I here wasn't any information at all, or it was some information I don't need. For instance, maybe for some reason I had a client list with the client's age. What I would do is drop that column. So anything that you drop will not be included. So just to show you exactly what I'm talking about, because I don't really going to utilize this information in a production environment, we're going to drop this I column because it doesn't appear to be any useful information despite the fact that we know it is. So we're going to go ahead and preview the list now to see what the photo booth operator thinks the information should look like based on what you have given as values in these. So the photo booth operator now says, okay, as far as they're concerned, here's a list of first names, last names, address, city, state, zip, email, phone, company, full name, alt phone. That is all the information that the photo booth operator will store, and only that information. That mysterious I column has been dropped, won't be included. It's not something that we need to worry about. If for any reason these do not match up, we can go back and change the options. So if for example, column D is actually the zip instead of the city, we can go back. Otherwise, when we're all ready, we're going to go ahead and add these clients to the photo booth operator. Booth operator returns us to our client list, and there you have the import with all the pertinent information. A lot of times you will see one or more columns with no information as the photo booth operator is parsing your Excel or CSV file. It will include headers, or it will include the first column, which is also oftentimes empty or blank. You can simply delete that to clean up your list, and then you're good to go.